In this lesson, I wanted to discuss the fingertip middle straight thrust as it appears in pattern Do-san and other patterns in the ITF pattern set, because you'll notice that it appears different from how we've been practicing it. So every time we do fingertip middle straight thrust, we have the other hand back and we're striking. And it's one hand that's involved in the strike and the other hand is pulled back. Just like this, right? We strike and we retract it. If you look at pattern Do-san, the pattern that you're going to be learning, you're going to see that they have the hands in this position here. You're probably wondering, what is this hand doing here? And some schools will give you some explanations that are really, really strange explanations as to why this hand is underneath here. The actual reason, the real reason why this hand is underneath is because you're using this hand to move your opponent's guard out of the way and then striking. So basically what you're doing is you're creating an opening for the fingertip middle straight thrust to get in. So if you look at the technique in pattern Do-san, for example, the pattern that you are going to be learning, you have knife hand guarding block, and then the very next movement in the pattern is the fingertip middle straight thrust, like this, right? Striking and retracting. If you look at the hand position, you're moving from a knife hand guarding block into fingertip middle straight thrust. This hand is coming down to move your opponent's guard out of the way in preparation for the strike. So you can imagine if you're fighting somebody, they're probably in a fighting stance of some kind. They have their hands up. You're swatting one of those hands out of the way to make room for the fingertip middle straight thrust. That is what this hand is doing, the non-striking hand. So you're here, you're in a knife hand guarding block position. You move the opponent's guard out of the way, and then you strike, right, with the opening that you've created. So looking at that from the side, knife hand guarding block position, you're going to move the guard out of the way, and then you're going to strike into the opening that you've created. That is what is happening in fingertip middle straight thrust when you see this other hand involved. And later on you're going to see it comes out of other blocks as well, where you're in this position and then you come here. But it's the same thing. This hand is moving your opponent's guard out of the way to create an opening for that fingertip middle straight thrust. That is what is actually happening there. That is what the application is for that technique. So, till the next lesson.